You're watching Talk Community, and I'm your host CJ. Welcome back to another album ranking, and today's album ranking will be of Alestorm, one of my all-time favorites, or the only band in pirate metal. Yeah, they created a genre. I absolutely have loved them for years. Was one of the bands that I first discovered when getting into the genre back in 2012. It's one of the bands I found in 2012, which is very early in my journey. But yeah, I had a video up for Alestorm a while back, and while I wasn't happy with it, so I decided to re-rank it. And yeah, by the way, I have a cold, so bear with me on this. But yeah, 7 studio albums, and yes, this does include 7th Rum of a 7th Rum. Not a lot of people have actually ranked this one in the discography rankings yet, so this is one of the first. So starting off with number 7, kind of a controversial one to have this low. Sunset on the Golden Age from 2014. The worst, but still a perfect album. I feel like the songs on the Golden Age are not as memorable as the songs in the other 6 albums, including number 6 as well. I kind of find that one to be not memorable as well. Cannot stress enough, this album is perfect, but so is the others. So is the other Alestorm albums. They're all perfect as well. 10 out of 10s all across the board. I don't just like anything that they've ever done. This has to be last place. Overall, perfect with every song feeling like it belongs. 10 out of 10. My favorite song on the Golden Age is 1741, The Battle of Cartagena. Very good song there. Not very big, memorable song for people to oh, I remember that song heavily. They mostly would remember Drink or Wooden Leg. I quite go for 1741 quite often when I listen to this album. So, yeah. Number 7, Alestorm, Sunset on the Golden Age. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody there. Number 6 is Curse of the Crystal Coconut from 2020. Very experimental album that goes for a fun ride. The songs in this album are quite silly, even for Alestorm. That's one of the things with this album, is it's very outside of the metal type thing they were doing. This one and the Golden Age, I hardly ever go back to. For Crystal Coconut, the reason is it's not what I'm in the mood for when I'm wanting to listen to Alestorm. This is a very weird and different record. Still perfect, 10 out of 10 though. I don't hate any of these songs, which is a plus. I don't really hugely like any of the songs. I still can listen to this album in full, so that's the reason why it's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. But yeah. Favorite song on this one is Fanny Bows. Love that song as well. That's probably the best one that's my favorite from this album. The one's up there. Number 5 is another controversial take, Back Through Time from 2011. This was my introduction to the band. Album falls here for one reason. The albums above it are better. That's all that basically separates these albums, except number 1. Number 1 is always been my favorite. So don't get me wrong, the song selection is great, but the albums above it have just better song selection. Back Through Time is aggressive and explosive when it needs to be, and majestic when it needs to be. Has that more majestic pirate-esque thing going on with the keyboards and stuff that kind of set it apart from a lot of the other albums that they've done. It has the stuff from the first 2 records, that kind of stuff. Overall, continues the fantastic pirate metal of the previous 2 albums, 10 out of 10. My favorite song on this album is The Sunken Norwegian. I absolutely love that song. I think it's one of their best songs, but it kind of falls on an album that has some songs that aren't as memorable. Number 4 is No Grave But the Sea from 2017. This album has a different kind of feel than the previous 4. To this point in their career, the songs are catchy, unlike the previous, Sunset on the Golden Age. Not very catchy. That one is not really that catchy. This one really is. The sound is massive, and the song selection is pretty good. The album is all good, no bad, amazing all the way through. This is also the album where the goofy and funny songs, aka Fucked with an Anchor, started. The show, which I quite enjoy. A lot of other people don't. Like, a lot of other people would like the seriousness of like their earlier stuff, but I'm all for it. I think the silly stuff is quite fun to a point, but like they kind of overdid it with Curse of the Crystal Coconut. But 10 out of 10, my favorite song on No Grave But the Sea is To the End of the World. I think the song is best on the album. It's got the best rhythm, it's got the best it's got basically got everything an Alestorm song should have. Number 3 is Captain Morgan's Revenge from 2008. The brilliant start, the brilliant debut, and the wild debut. Captain Morgan is all over the place in a good way with very chaotic but focused songs. In 2008, no one was doing pirate metal as a genre. Sure, you had Running Wild writing about pirates, but they did it more like a speed metal thing when Alestorm kind of like put like C standard tuning to it and put keyboards to it and just went nuts with the whole like pirate sound. Their own thing, honestly. Absolutely their own thing. All songs fit on the album and is very focused and serious, unlike later releases from this band. Yes, I like the serious stuff the most, and that's the earlier stuff. But yeah, Captain Morgan's Revenge, Death Before the Mast is definitely a weird song in Alestorm where the vocals don't really line up with anything, but they still work because it's just chaotic. But yeah, this is and my favorite song is the title track, which is Captain Morgan's Revenge. Just absolutely great stuff there. Number 2 is Seventh Rum of a Seventh Rum, their brand new one from 2022 that I did not get to review last year for some reason. I just decided not to review it. But re-listening to it, I like it. Now I like it. I didn't like it back then. Experiment over. Right there, experiment over. Time to go back to the Alestorm formula, which that's what they did. The album surprised me. This time listening through it, it surprised me as their album before this one was weird but worked. But this one does more than work. It's one of their best albums. Intensity is back. The serious songs about pirate battles are back, and a little comedy in there, like shove a cannonball up your cunt. Yes, that's in that album. That's in the song Cannonball in this album. Yes, it does give you a little bit of comedy, but gives you the best of both, which that's why it's here. It gives you the best of both of the really funny Alestorm stuff and then the serious pirate battles. 10 out of 10, my favorite song is the Battle of Cape Fear River. Absolutely amazing song there. I'm a fucking pirate. That's all. That's honestly the one line from that. And that brings us to number 1, or the one that everybody puts it last, and I don't get why. Black Sails at Midnight from 2009. This is the best Alestorm album, in my opinion. Nothing will ever change. This is by far their best album. This might be controversial as I see more people putting this one at the bottom, and I have to ask why, honestly. The album is intense. It has the pirate theme being serious and not goofy. Basically not goofy at all. You have songs like Q Hauled. You have oh man. And not goofy like their later works, and the songs are just really fucking good, honestly. all the songs are fucking good. The track list is beyond killer with songs like Keelhaul, the title track, and famous Old Spice. And yeah, the other ones too. Songs like No Quarter. That's a good instrumental there. You have Chronicles of Vengeance, Wolves of the Sea, The Quest, and my favorite song, Alestorm song ever, Leviathan. Like, yeah, about a gigantic sea monster that just rips people in half. It's just an absolute classic song. My favorite Alestorm song ever. And yeah, this album is just, for me, it has to be their best. I'm sorry for anybody that's going to be mad at me in the comment section for putting this one at number one, but I just can't help myself. I did it in the previous video that I took down because I didn't like it, and I did it now because, well, I like it. So that's what I think of Alestorm. Hope everyone liked it, and I will see everyone whenever I decide to upload again.